Hey guys, welcome back to my channel AWS with Vim. In this video, we'll be learning how we can expose or how we can serve our HTTP API gateway using CloudFront. Now, as the HTTP API was released very recently by AWS, it does not support edge optimized endpoints as of now. But let's assume that your customer base, your user base is spread across the globe and you want to serve them using HTTP API. So if you just use their default endpoint, it's a regional endpoint and your users sitting in Australia or US, and if your API is hosted in Mumbai, these users sitting in US or Australia would face very high latency because it's a regional API. So let's expose these API, or let's put a CloudFront in front of our HTTP API gateway so that users across the globe don't face that latency. We optimize their speed. Okay, so let's see how we can achieve this. So I'll switch to my AWS console, and in this we'll be creating two Lambda functions, an HTTP API gateway, and a CloudFront distribution for us. So let's start with our Lambda function first. So I'll open Lambda in a new tab. Parallelly, I'll even open API gateway and CloudFront as well, and the CloudFront. Awesome. So let's start with creating our first Lambda function. So I'll click on this orange button, create function. I'll give my function name just one. You can choose any random name for your function. Under runtime, I'll select Python 3.8 because the functions or the language which I have used is written in Python. So we'll just select Python 3.8. Under permissions, just expand this section, choose or create an execution role. In this, make sure you have this first point selected, which says create a new role with basic Lambda permission. So we don't need to create an IAM role ourselves manually. Once we select this option, AWS will automatically create a IAM role for our Lambda function and it will attach to it so that our Lambda function can at least push logs to CloudWatch. So just click on create function. It took a while, but we have our Lambda function ready now. Okay, now within this Lambda function, we need to change this code. So to get this code or to change this code, I'll go to my GitHub gist. So you can just follow this URL gist.github.com/Paliwal. I've stored both the codes regarding to function 1 and function 2, which we'll be creating. So I'll just click on the AWS HTTP API cf1.py file. I'll copy this code. It's a small code which is just returning hello from API 1. So I'll just select the entire code which is available in the editor and I'll paste my code. Once I've pasted it, I'll just hit the save button here on the top right side. Make sure you save it as well before you navigate away from this page. Otherwise you will lose your changes. Now I'll scroll up and click on the functions here on top. I'll create another function. This time I'll name it function 2. Runtime will be again Python 3.8. Same for permissions. I'll just stick to create a new role so that again AWS will create a new IAM role for my function 2. I'll click on create function. So we have even our second function now ready. So I'll go back to my GitHub gist tab. I'll go back, and now I need to copy this code for my second function. So I'll just open the file, I'll select the entire code, copy, and do a paste here. And don't forget to save your code once you have replaced it. Now this function is again just a very small basic function which just checks all the inputs which we will be sending when we will be making API calls to our API gateway, which will in turn make a request to this Lambda function. So basically this fourth line which says JSON.loads event of body. So this is fetching this parameter body and creating it as a JSON object and assigning it to this body parameter. And I'm just accessing that API parameter here, or I would say I'm returning this API parameter as a response. Okay, you will better understand it once we do the testing part. All right, so we have both of our functions ready. Now let's create our API gateway. So I'll open the API gateway tab. Now your UI might look different provided AWS, or if AWS has updated their UI, but that doesn't matter to us. Make sure you just select the HTTP API and proceed ahead. Now within the API name, I'll give it demo and click on next. I'll skip this part, click on next. Now with the stage name, again, I'll just say my stage name as the demo stage. Then again, click on next. On the review page, just review all the inputs which we have provided, like our API name, which was demo, and even the stage name, which was demo, and click on create button. Okay, so it was quite easy to create an API, but now we need to create routes. So routes are basically the path. So to explain it in an easy way, so let's say you have a domain name xyz.com and you have multiple paths associated to that domain name xyz.com. So if someone goes to xyz.com/login, it should display a different page. For xyz.com register, it should be a different page or a different API call. So this /login or /register or /admin, these are called the paths. So let's create these paths so that we can attach our Lambda function to our API gateway. So in the left panel, click on routes. As we don't have any routes, it is our fresh new API. So let's create our first route. So click on the create button. Under the drop down, select get as our HTTP method. And for route, just provide one and click create. So we'll be creating two paths, /1 and /2, and they'll be respectively pointing to the Lambda functions, which we created just a few minutes back. Let's create one more. So I'll click on the create button. This time from dropdown, I'll select post method so that I can send that API parameter to my second function. Here, I'll provide it 2. Now, it doesn't matter just because I have given my functions name 1 and 2, I'm providing these API names or routes as well 1 and 2. You can have routes, you can give your route names any name and they need not to be same as your Lambda function. So I'll just click on create. Now we have created both our routes. Now we need to attach our Lambda function to these routes /1 and /2. So just click on the get method. So let's first integrate our Lambda function 1 to our route 1. So click on this get method to view our route details. Within this, you will see this button attach integration. So click on this. Now once you click, you will again see a button which says create and attach an integration. Now under integration target, we need to select Lambda function. Now from the dropdown, select 1. And before you hit the create button, make sure you have this permission enabled. Otherwise, the API gateway will not be able to invoke your Lambda function. This is very required. This is very necessary step. So make sure you have this enabled and click on create. Now we have attached our first Lambda function to our /1 route. Let's do the same for our second Lambda function as well. So this time click on the post method. Again, click on create and attach an integration. Now, if you have any such requirement where you want to link your existing integration, that can be either a Lambda function or an HTTP URL, then you can just select it from the dropdown. But we haven't created our integration with the second Lambda function. So we'll again click on create and attach an integration button here. Select Lambda function under integration target. This time from the dropdown, make sure you select 2 as your Lambda function or whatever name you have given it earlier. And please make sure you have this enabled, the permissions checkbox, and click on create. Awesome. So we have our API gateway, we have created both our routes, and we have even attached our integrations or our Lambda function, and we have integrated them with our routes. So before we proceed ahead with exposing our API gateway using CloudFront, let's just verify whether we are able to get response from our Lambda function or not. So click on API using the left panel. On your left panel, you will see API and your API name. So just click on that. And then under stages, you will see this invoke URL. So just copy this invoke URL and open it in a new tab. Now don't just press enter, we need to provide the path. So let's just provide the path 1 which I've created, which is attached to my Lambda function 1. So now I should receive hello from API 1. So this proves that our API gateway is now properly connected to our Lambda function, and now we can proceed ahead with the CloudFront distribution. Now before even we move ahead, let's just understand that why do we need CloudFront distribution here. So as I already explained earlier, as of now, this HTTP API is very new and it does not support edge optimized endpoints. So if your user base, if your customer base is spread across the globe and you want to serve them using this API, then you need to have a CloudFront distribution to reduce latency and to increase performance for your consumers or users which are spread across the globe. Otherwise, your users which are in the far other corner of the world, they'll have very high latency. All right. So that being said, let's start with our CloudFront distribution. So just click on this blue button, create distribution. Now we need to create a web distribution. So click on get started under web. Now within the origin domain name, we need to provide our HTTP API gateway domain name. So switch back to that tab and copy this URL once again and paste it under origin domain name. Now, while we paste it, make sure you remove this demo / in the end, and from the beginning, you need to remove https://. I repeat, once you paste your HTTP API gateway URL here, you need to remove http://, which is at the very beginning of this URL. And from the end, you need to remove /demo. Once you have provided that, just click on origin path. Let's move to the next. And here we will provide /demo. So instead of just using /demo in our origin domain name, we provide the path in our /demo. Now under minimum origin SSL protocol, we need to select TLS 1.2. Protocol policy will be HTTPS because we don't want our connections to use unsecured channel. So let's just force or move everything to HTTPS. Scroll down until you see viewer protocol policy. Select redirect HTTP to HTTPS. So what this will do, if any of your consumer is trying to establish a connection on HTTP protocol instead of HTTPS, the traffic will be redirected to HTTPS as well. Under allowed HTTP method, select the third option, which has get head options put post, patch, delete. So this will allow all these HTTP methods on our CloudFront distribution. Apart from this, we don't need to do any changes. So we can just scroll down till the end of this page and hit create distribution. Now, this distribution will take around roughly 5 minutes. Meanwhile, if you guys don't have Postman installed, please download it. So it's postman.com, or you can just do a simple Google search. So just download this tool so that we can test our APIs. We need to send post requests, so so for that we will be using this Postman. Okay, so let's just download that Postman if you guys don't have it, and give yourself a stretch and grab a coffee while this CloudFront distribution is getting ready. All right, so my distribution is now in deployed state, and I hope yours will be too. So I'll just click on this distribution ID now, which I've just created. We need to grab this domain name to test our API call. So I'll just copy it. Initially, I'll just test it within my browser to see if I can if my CloudFront distribution is able to talk to API gateway, and API gateway is able to communicate further down to my Lambda function. So here I'll need to provide the path as well. So that path will be 1 because that is one of the route or one of the path which we created with the API gateway, and I'll hit enter. Awesome. So I'm able to receive output or response back from my Lambda function. So this proves my API gateway is successfully connected to CloudFront and is serving the traffic. Now, we cannot make post request using this Chrome. So let's use Postman to do that. So I'll just close this tab. Okay. So I have my Postman open. I'll grab the URL here and I'll paste it in this URL bar. So which is my CloudFront URL. Make sure you prefix HTTPS here. And at the end, let's just start with our first route, which was /1, to see if we can receive output here as well or not. And then click on send button. Yeah. So if you see underneath, we receive response from our Lambda function, which says hello from API 1. Now let's do the testing for our second route as well. So I'll just replace it with /2. Now I need to do few more changes so that I can send those request parameters which is required by our Lambda function. So click on this body tab here. Within this body tab, select raw as the body type option, and from the drop down, select JSON. Now let's create a JSON object here, so the name will be API and its value will be, let's say, demo API test. So this time what will happen once we click the send button, we would receive response with having demo API test in it. So let's see. So I'll click on send button. Oops, it's an error because we didn't change our HTTP method. We need to change it to post instead of get. And now let's make that call and click on send button. Yippee. And we receive hello from API, and this is the text which we have sent in the request demo API test. Now if I just change this, let's say I would now remove the test word from here, and I'll again click on send button to see or to make sure that the word was not hard coded, and there we go. This time I receive demo API. So this is how you can simply create Lambda functions, attach them to an API gateway, and expose them via CloudFront. Now optionally, you can even map your CloudFront domain, which is this random characters.cloudfront.net, to your own domain name if you have one. Let's say you have bought a domain abc.com, and if you want to map this cloudfront.net domain name to your own domain name abc.com, you can just use the Route 53 service, which is provided by AWS, and you can create an alias a record and map it to your CloudFront distribution. That's how you can even serve your APIs or distribute your APIs using your own domain name abc.com/1 or abc.com/2 instead of using this random characters.cloudfront.net URL. So that's all within this video. Great. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you find this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on future videos.